I would likely make a grin if it weren't for Chalmsberry Grib. What did you sin? What did you forgive? What did you sin, Chalmsberry Grib?
Chalmsberry. Oh, Chalmsberry.
Aunt Plucy crept up the stairs to the child's staying room. Oh, if that rascally Chalmsberry Grib missed his scalp shearing again, she'd tan his hide. If you could tan a Chalmsberry hide, that is.
Chalmsberry, are you here?
He did not answer her with his rasping, dribbling howls. Oh, that rude, impetuous, sneaky, tricky, treacherous tot was always running off like the dish with the spoon. Tie him to a post, and he'd make off with that as well, leaving you boyless, postless, and listless. A boy rascal. Aunt Plucy huffed and crunched her tocks to the doorstep. 'Twas closed, it 'twas.
Chalmsberry Grib, you get out here this instant!
Yet the tot did not answer. She opened the door wide and shrieked. The tot's room was torn asunder. His straw mattress was straw alone. His looking tin was tarnished. His washing bin was bent. His chamber pot was upturned, and his chewing cud was spent. A dead pheasant was stuffed in the chimney of the oil lantern, and one alive scrimmed and chuffed in the shiffer robe.
Well, if it stinks like a barn, hoots like a barn, and troubles like a barn, what else is it? Chalmsberry Jessica Grib, get your honey out here!
Aunt Plucy turned around at the pitter-patter of boy feet, but 'twas nothing there, save the debris of crushed vermin.
Why, I pray that rascally Chalmsberry Grib isn't here, else I have to spank him twice as hard for his rude extracurriculars, you see.
She noticed then the soiled edge of a kerchief poking out from the mess beneath the bed frame. Chalmsberry Grib never left the boarding house without his white kerchief. No. Old Aunt Plucy thought to herself, aha, I've caught that rascally tot yet. Story, give unto me the strength to hold on to his slippery corners. She crept on her toe tips, tip, 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 and in a 3 count, dropped her torso to the roughshod, gripped the kerchief tip, ripped and rose.
I have you now, Chalmsberry. I have you. What?
The tot and kerchief were not adjoined but asunder. A trick. Now what's more, the kerchief was unclean in the most curious fashion. In waxy dribbles, shining with the dawn light, there was a message writ.
Look behind thee. Why, what could that... Oh, no!
Chalmsberry Grib had snuck upon her. He was stark nude, kerchief gone with bib overalls to boot. In his swirls of flesh, Aunt Plucy knew not a child but something aged and eternal, before man was born and extant long after he twould die.
I can see for years and years.
Splish and splash! While she was in torment trapped, that Henri Chalmsberry emptied a bucket upon her, which had overrunneth with mystery liquid seconds prior. In her hair and over her fraying petticoats the foul substance soaked. In the doorway, as though it had always been there, a candle of crimson wax blazed. The old marm shook her head, bruised as it was, and tittered with lamentations. A hearty grin broadened her face a bishop's centimeter. She took a sniff of the dripping liquid.
Just as I thought. Kerosene again. Chalmsberry Grib. Ain't I been tricked enough? You think I'd wise up? I would. Sure, I might be awful tempted to make a crude word against him, but darn too, if I don't deserve it for my own plum-dumb peat-brainedness. Some boys are born to rascal morn, noon, and night. You can spot them like a Dalmatian dog. Give 'em a spoon and they take a lick. Give 'em a fork and they make a prick. Rude boys, but a rude boy enabled by lax rule. The good story says to splash the child with milky amalgate, and if it curdles, let him suffer. But darn this old man, oh me, I cannot will it. Chalmsberry Grib was but a tot when he came under my tutelage, and I heard what happened to his last keepers. Crushed between two horses in a lover's head-on collision. The intense heat melted the horses and victims into a decoupage of tragedy, and that's what happens when you speak ill of the boy. And here Aunt Lucy did wait unsuspecting that my next tenant would be my ward. I get but $5.22 a year for his charge from the Federal Child Consult, but darn that FCC, he costs me that and twice each week in tantrum and theft. I worry enough for 3 marms and enough for 4 I shit. I pull at my hair and scratch at my scalp with every tantrum and trick. The story, if you're listening, don't send me no angel with the floating eye and the wing of flame. Send me one with a rifle full of boy shots. For only the story itself could save me from such a tot as this Chalmsberry Grib of mine.
What won't that rascal Chalmsberry do for a lark? Welcome back. Listen, we aren't just asking you to donate for nothing, you goof. Imagine, for only $47.63 a month, you can join the Elite Rewards Prime tier and get premium Discord channels, access to the 522 Club premium podcast, including the privilege of hearing exclusive story truths, the Elite Rewards Prime premium t-shirt exclusive, a petition read in your name during a real story service, a shout out in the 522 Club, and the exclusive premium Elite Rewards Prime monthly chat with the clergy. www.patreon.com/tsmbt, www.patreon.com/tsmbt, www.pat as in Pat from Patrick, patreon.com/tsmbt.
This person just gave us $17.17 a month, and they specifically said they don't care fuck about what you just said. They just want to support. They see like weird, independent fiction, and they're like, I mean, hey, they're trying.
Okay, yeah,
they're
that's
putting
fine.
stuff
That's
out.
fine. I really don't care as long as you give us your cheddar. Give us your cheddar. Give us your cheddar. Give us your cheddar. Sticky, www.patreon.com/tsmbt. If you're in the EU, it's www.patreon.com/tsmbt. If you're in Mexico, it's
I would have died in my crib if it weren't for Chalmsberry Grib. What is this meat? What did you skin? What did you skin, Chalmsberry Grib? In the distance yonder, a dark snake of char and smoke slithered up to besmirch the skyline above Cherubusco Township. But old Chalmsberry had forgotten all about that, given the sight before him now. Chalmsberry Grib hid behind a fallen oak and planted his dungarees on the dirt. Yes, sir, lost in this mystery wood, Chalmsberry found a desolate shack, outside of which a tradesman worked. A tanner he was, and the tot was transfixed by his trade. The way he stretched the skin, the cords he bound, shrip, shrip. Now the man sharpened his blade on the strap.
Yes, nothing like leather. Secret leather, that is. Nothing secret in this world. Nothing at all. Nothing except this secret leather. Yes.
He bent to stretch a most curious hide, thin and bespeckled in curly hair and moles. Chalmsberry brewed desire in his twisted visage. He needed a coat of this fine, oh so mysterious leather. He pressed his hams into the dirt behind the tree and made a plan. But he did not see into which manner of dirt his dungarees did slid, for soon up his dirty stinking ant, then 2, then 5, 10, 20, 100 made of his asshole a cabana. Up Chalmsberry rose, his kerchief a-flapping, his mouth a-shouting, his arms a-waving, and the ants a-chomping. He swiped at his tocks, and ants scattered by the dozen. His hams simmered from the stings, relief his but for a moment, for with the outcry Chalmsberry's sneaking and tiptoeing was for naught. The tanner ceased his tanning, and his face creased into the wrinkles of shame.
Oh, no! No! Who watches me now? Oh, goodness! It's some kind of tot. Tell me, tot. You've been here this whole time, have ye?
Chalmsberry knew better than to lie.
My, I haven't heard someone say those words in a long time. Come with me then, and be my new apprentice. But beware, for the leathers I stretch are leathers of no mortal means. You see, I tan leathers none have tanned before.
The inside of the tanner's shop was a medley of instruments and hides, skin-covered and bare both, but some of the skinless forms were oddly familiar.
Dangerous? Of course it's dangerous. Heretical even. But the leathers I tan demands to be tanned. Here, feel this belt. Yes, but it's more than just lightweight. Stronger than iron, 'tis. You can put this belt in a fire and it won't smolder. Shoot it and it won't die. This is the leather you attain from only the most taboo of specimen. An uncle. What does it matter? It could be 15, maybe 20. Now come here and look. Do you see this saddle? This saddle was an uncle who drank. This sun hat was an uncle of illicit hobbies. Pornographic model building, anatomically correct puzzles, ships painstakingly built inside an asshole. Each man an uncle perversion. And now, a leather. Yes, I'm hungry as well. Attend me at the hearth. However, I warn you, the lunch I have prepared is a lunch of no mortal means. You see, I bake breads none have baked before. Have you tasted a devil bread? Made only from the serpent's yeast, a liar's loaf of braided liar dough. Look upon this loaf, dear child. I ask you, have you ever seen a bread with no recipe? Stop changing the subject. You haven't, because there ain't no bread with no recipe, save this here loaf. A bread of no origin, no name, no ingredients. Natural is sin. To eat it is to know flavors beyond the palate's breath. Sweet, bitter, sour, salt, milk, umami. I know of truths truer than any other truth. The devil put his thoughts inside of my head, 'cause I went to the devil's house and ate devil bread. Now eat. Well, I mean, when you put it that way, you make an excellent point. You don't need to eat. I think of you as a son. Come here.
Yes, sir, that Chalmsberry knew how to sweet-talk proper, and now he had himself another eager papa, ready to claim that Chalmsberry as his own. Add it to the list, thought Chalmsberry.
Oh, yes. It feels so good to embrace you, sweet boy. Your scent so powerful, like fennel. Your cheek so slick, but not wet, as though melting in a constant state. I have ended our embrace. Yes, sweet boy, sweet boy. I have but one question for you. What are you hiding in your hands?
Chalmsberry made his most innocent laugh.
Well, shared my secrets with you, it's only proper you do the same. Show me, child. My Uncle Blade. Hey, put that down. I said put that down. Oh. No.
Ooh. Sorry to interrupt, but right now we are receiving the biggest donation we've ever received. Shh. Come on, let's go over to Sister Callista.
Yes, oh my. Well, we can't thank you enough. Oh, bye-bye. Yes, Bye. Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, my story. This sweet old lady just donated $5.22. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I'm crying. I don't want to cry.
Oh. I thought you said it was like the biggest donation.
Shut up, Devin. You idiot! Don't you know? She only had $5.22 to give.
Truly, to give all that you have is the greatest gift of all. I ask you, which cheddar is the stickiest? The cheddar from a rich man who's dribbling cheddar all day, every hour? Or is it the old lady with only a little sticky cheddar who gives us every dribbling drop?
Tune in at the end of the program to find out.
Well, I'd been married a long time ago, if it weren't for Chalmsberry Grib. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Chalmsberry Grib? Previously on the adventures of Chalmsberry Grib.
Just as I thought. Kerosene again. Chalmsberry Grib. Ain't I been tricked enough? You think I'd wise up? I would. Sure, I might be awful tempted to make a crude word against him, but darn toot, if I don't deserve it for my own plum-dumb pea-brainedness. Some boys are born to rascal morning, noon, and night. You can spot them like the Dalmatian dog. Give 'em a spoon and they take a lick. Give 'em a fork and they make a prick. Rude boys, but a rude boy enabled by lax rule. The good story says to splash the child with milky amalgam, and if it curdles, let him suffer. But darn this old man, oh me, I cannot will it. Chalmsberry Grib was but a tot when he came under my tutelage, and I heard what happened to his last. He was crushed between two horses and a lover's head on the occasion. Dancing, melting horses and victims into a hit. For 4 I shit. I'm pulling my hair and scratching my scalp with every tantrum and trick. Story, if you're listening, don't send me no angel with the floating eye and the wing of flame. Send me one with a rifle full of boy shot. For only the story itself could save me from such a tot as this Chalmsberry Grib of mine.
Chalmsberry Grib. Well, looked like Chalmsberry Grib was in a thick pickle. The moss trees were a-weeping, the swamp a-bubbling, and the terror frog a-moaning his unwholesome racket.
Keep up, Chalmsberry. Them angry marms and fellas is gaining. I can't go back to the clink.
Yes, and as the convict, Jim Parsons, said, the sound that bothered Chalmsberry Grib the most was the screams, yelps, and cusses of the angry mob, hot on their heels. I can see their jackets! They're up ahead!
Nah, story dang it all to heck. Chalmsy B, trade me your jacket. 'Cause I said so, that's why. They're after me, see? I needs every second I can get, see? And if it's you there, pea shooters, shoot full of peas, well then, hope you like split pea soup. Nah.
And with that, the convict, Jim Parsons, yanked at Chalmsberry's shoulders. Now in the good book of story, the scribes say yea to any traveler who giveth his coat to a coldman, because agony is a currency good as salt. But this weren't no good scholarship on the part of convict Jim Parsons. He lusted for the child's jacket, made from such curious leather, and when that Chalmsberry wouldn't give, he ripped.
Shut up about it!
Parsons put on the crude leather of the mushy child's possession. Despite the bloodthirsty mob mere yards away, he stopped dead in his tracks.
Goodness! Well, if this ain't the best fitting jacket I ever did don, it's so strange, 'cause I swears it, I saw this same jacket a fit so proper on your petite-shouldered Chalmsberry Grib, yet here it is, so bespoke to my own broad frame. Yes, oh, I'm filled with a warmth I never known. This jacket, it feels so right, so real, so... Oh, Story, what's happening?
Yes, that's right. Old Parsons didn't realize just what jacket the child wore. It was not made of normal leather, but a sinful, secret leather no niece nor no nephew should ever witness. Jim Parsons collapsed in all that muck, and nary did the jacket find no dirt nor grit, as though that muck knew better.
My skin, my bones!
Chalmsberry Grib was correct. Jim Parsons was changing, all right. His cheeks grew a bristle, his bones slumped a slack, his gut protruded, his brows colluded, his eyes half-lidded, his back pus-zitted, and his haircut disappeared. In 15 seconds, as the tick-tock clock tells it, he was an uncle.
I have a nephew!
Those were the last words he spoke as bang! A loaded boy shot straight through the back of his head and splattered out the front like a marinara fountain, baby. He fell dead into the muck, which swallowed him whole, leather and all. Chalmsberry heard laughter. I got him! Now convict Jim Parsons was no good man. He was in the clink for selling marijuana, and if the good people of Ohio had their way, he would have died in his clink instead of in the muck. But for all his stonering and herb glazing, he had proven himself a friend true to Chalmsberry. So as Chalmsberry Grib turned and saw the lonesome man who leveled the shot into Parsons like pinning a death tail on a blood donkey, he grew angry. Though his hams were tired, Chalmsberry pumped his little thighs in that muck, squat, and burst at the man. Cannonball Chalmsberry roared through the air and tackled the murderer into the muck so quick his rifle tied itself a pretzel. Gah! And that was the last syllable the villager uttered. The townspeople emerged through the roughage to see Chalmsberry Grib wielding unnatural forces. His palms gripped the man's head like a gourd, howling his rude gurgle as the man, his physical boundaries blurred as though smoke in a breeze. Yes, just as the book of story warns, the eye that doth cross story doth from story thy spirit forgot. From the neck down he disappeared like a fart in a storm, sent out of the story into the unnamed storyless realms. The villagers were scared to immobility. Then the skin of his head peeled back into insubstantiation. Then his muscles, then his skull, then his brain, all of it screaming. Who among them had ever seen such terror? Like a frog marrying a fly, it just don't make sense. Well, while their wits betrayed them, out of space, out of time, and out of neither origin nor finality, the murderous villager faded. He screamed and wailed in the void. You heard him before, I reckon. Like to hear him again. A lost soul without a story. Now there's a chilly thought. Forget someone walking over your grave. This here's a whole marching band stomping tubers and sousaphones over yon marker. Eventually, someone spoke up.
Monster! Monster!
Chalmsberry had forgotten from what he fled, but 'twas too late. The hands of the townspeople ripped him from the now empty, smoldering clothes and boots of that murderous villager. Yep, when the story denies you, it denies you nude. Well, Chalmsberry Grib saw all his enemies. the son of the tanner, the boarding guest of Aunt Plucy, the constable, the constable, and the con of the stable, Chef. Then there was the governor, the general, the tinker, the tailor, the soldier, the spy, the cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover.
Kill him!
Said the cook.
Fuck him!
Said the thief.
Cook him.
Said the lover. Said the Chalmsberry.
No, you've had your chance, you guilty little Chalmsberry!
Said the judge. And so the people gathered together. Old grievances were put asunder, rivalries forgotten, and bastards welcomed as tots true. Such community spirit thickened the air like dollops of cornstarch, making a pancake between each villager's gleeful heart as they seized the child. Chalmsberry cried as the townspersons pinned him to the ground. The people, they drew knives and blades, daggers, lancets, and shivs. But it was the coward, a priest, who finally objected.
Can a creature such as a Chalmsberry even be killed?
The nearest townsperson, the lover, took her instrument, some kind of sharp-edged, pointy weapon, and plunged it deep into the Chalmsberry's abdomen. But lo! As she did remove the sharply pointed, flat, slicing handheld weapon, the wax which comprised the tot sealed him up just as quick as stew filling a spoon. Like liquid he twere. Well, this got the townspeople stuck, like the part of the tree that don't get turned into teeth and coffins. Stumped. Yes, if they couldn't kill the treacherous tot, what would they do? Perhaps a prison would suffice, but where to find one? Well, as the good storybook does read, do the birds lack for worms? Do the frogs not spawn in sticky mud? The story provides, dear listener, the story provides. For in that confusion there in the swamp of bubbling muck, light broke through the clouds and illuminated a tree like no other. It stretched out of the stagnant still water like a revenge hand from a loose grit grave. A gnarled thing with limbs shrieking forth, and in its heart a dark, empty hollow. The townsfolk didn't have to converse. See, the cursed tree was all they needed. The people were guided in new purpose. Their hands made chains around the tot and transported him unflinching to the base of the tree of no name, a knot oak, a knot maple, a knot-ridden terror 'twas.
In you go!
Well, strong as the mob was, they struggled then, because our Chalmsberry did not want to go into the hollow of that forsaken tree. The dark scared him, and he wondered what frightful things lay in wait with teeth and spindly leg. He cried out, his hands pressed against the rim of the hole, pleading for mercy. But the people didn't care, hardened as they were by his rude nature. He dipped the widow's sons in lye. He turned to jam the town gibbon. In their fury, the townspeople pushed the Chalmsberry ever more fiercely. His hands, not made of bone but thickened wax, buckled on the wood, and in the boy flew. He tried to race back out the hole through which he was thrust, but he met muck.
More! Give it your all, yes!
Palmful by palmful, led by the priest, the townspersons threw muck and stinky water into the pit of the tree. Soon the top was knee-deep. Then he was trapped to his neck. Then it took over his mouth, and yet the cries could not soften. The people backed away from their deed, covered in muck, sweat freezing in the chill air. They waited for the crows to call and the thistle crickets to chirp, chirp, chiree. Each did, and yet still the top mewed from his mucky tomb.
Well, he's not escaping. Why, this muck is so packed, it would take a Chalms himself to break Chalms free.
The priest's word struck all as prophecy, and so the story must be told. The townsfolk each went home, heads a-hang. However, they did not feel so justified as the nights passed. Their memories of the flowing wax and shifting face of the top began to change. In each head, visiting their conscience in nightmares and daytime corners of eye, the child grew clearer. Chalmsberry developed a face, and his cries took on human tones. Each guilty layperson remembered not entombing Chalmsberry Grib, but their own children. Despite seeing the living tots race and play, they were convinced that they had sealed them to suffocate, or at least starve, in that cursed tree. Goodness! A malaise so hot spread over the town you could soft boil an egg in its hot puddling drips. And the priest who led the charge? Well, he died a year to the day after the incident in the muckwoods. Strangest of all was his body. Not a bruise on it, no sign of struggle, but on his corpse chest, a most curious symbol. Not a cross, not a phallus, like you might draw on a friend with arms and teeth. No, 'twas the rude triangles and contours of the goosefix. And in his mouth, muck, muck, muck. Where did you come from, Chalmsberry Grib?